This channel is for adults and not for kids. Hey guys, thanks for stopping back by. I wanted to show you guys a couple of really cool books that I have had since 1979. So these are really cool, and movies don't seem to do things like this anymore. Make this type of product. What's cool about these two books that I want to show you guys is this was how I saw the movie Alien before I saw the movie Alien. So it was 1979 and I was 9 years old, and my big brother was super into Alien, and he was very steeped in the artwork of H.R. Giger. And my brother introduced me to Giger and his artwork, and introduced me to the movie Alien. My older brother loved science fiction and horror movies, and so did my dad. And so it was something cool that, you know, we all shared. And whenever I think of the movie Alien, you know, I think of my big brother, because it ended up being one of my favorite movies of all time, and, you know, one of my favorite movie monsters of all time. And it's just cool to think about how it was introduced into my life. These are two really cool books. I used to love these types of books, you know, like The Making of Star Wars or The Empire Strikes Back, The Making of you know, whatever, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Movies used to have these really awesome books about the artwork used in the films, used in the making of the movies. And you just don't see that anymore. At least I don't see it anymore. So that's what this first book is. It's called The Book of Alien. And this book came out in 1979. And I'll show you guys this one first. This second book, this book is awesome. Like I said, this was how I saw the movie Alien before I actually got to see it on a big screen. So, as I said, my brother was nuts over Alien. So he went out and saw it and came home and went on and on and on about it, how great it was, how it was unlike any film he'd ever seen. And he started buying lots of the merchandise. He bought this book along with, you know, tons of other stuff. And this book, you know, I wish they made stuff like this. So, a long time ago, kids, before you know, VCRs were in everyone's home, books like this were how you relived the movies. And it's damn near frame by frame You know, this is the opening shot of the Nostromo flying overhead, and it's the entire movie, scene for scene. I mean, you know, obviously it's not every frame of film, but it's like every 10th frame of film. And we'll go through this one too, but this is an incredible book. And this is how you relived movies before VCRs. You know, it's crazy nowadays. We have DVD and Blu-ray, and you can own the movies, or you can stream the movies at your whim. But back in the day, you would see the movies at the movie theater, and then you better have a good memory, because that was it until you got an edited version of it showing up on late night TV. So a book like this was just super valuable to a fan of that film. Yeah, you know, it seems crazy to think of a time when you would see a movie and that was it. So yeah, I got to experience the film through this book first, and then my big brother took me to the movies, and I got to have the shit scared out of me as a little kid. It was awesome. Yeah, awesome. Do any of you guys remember these types of books? Do any of you have this book? This was, you know, my big brother's original, and then he bequeathed it to me. But 1979, that's when this was published. That's when both of these were published. And I'm a sucker for movie artwork, the art used in the films. Like I said earlier, the making of Star Wars, or, you know, the art of The Empire Strikes Back. I used to love those books as a kid. And you would see all of Ralph McQuarrie's beautiful paintings, and then you would see how it was finally translated into film. You know, I used to love that stuff, and I used to love this book too. So let me shut my big mouth and just get to it. There's Jonesy. Let's see. You know, and Giger wasn't the only artist, you know, involved in Alien. There was Ron Cobb. There was Mobius. All of which are amazing artists. But, you know, let's be honest. When you think of Alien, which artist automatically jumps to your mind? It's Giger, right? I mean, if Giger was not involved in Alien, we wouldn't be talking about it the way that we do now. It wouldn't have sparked tons of sequels, and it wouldn't be what it is today, even though all these other incredible artists were involved. It's because of Giger and his biomechanical designs, his weird blending of what fascinates us and what terrifies us, all rolled into one big package. Sex and violence rolled up together. That's what's amazing about his artwork is, you know, it's full of sexual images, things that attract us, and then it's filled with the profane and disgusting things that terrify us, all wrapped together in this insane biomechanical package. His use of real skeletons and real bones in the making of the suit. The sheep's stomachs that he used for the inside of the egg as it opens up. All of that makes it transcend like every other movie monster. It doesn't look like anything we'd seen before. And anything since has just been, you know, derivative of it. You see something biomechanical and you're like, oh, they're trying to do Alien. The inside of the Nostromo is so awesome. If you guys are around my age, I know you guys have seen these types of books before, these behind-the-scenes artwork books from film. Did you guys own any of these types of books? There's a spacesuit. That's one of Ron Cobb's spacesuits. It says Dallas on his helmet. It's cool, but Mobius's spacesuits are cooler. And I'm glad they went with that design. There you go. There we go. So, the cool thing about these Mobius spacesuits... Look at that. Look at that detail. He's got these giant helmets and this samurai armor that you can see in like the shoulder pads. Yeah, there's like a samurai influence on it. These big bulky backpacks and the big windowed helmets and like the samurai armor. It's just such a gorgeous piece of design. So even though, you know, Giger is who you first think of when you think of Alien, he wasn't the only one responsible for cool shit in that movie. Let's get to the star of the show. And then there was cool stuff that they didn't film that was in the story. Like there was a pyramid. You know, instead of finding all the eggs on board the derelict spaceship, originally they were going to find this giant pyramid, and the eggs would be in the pyramid, and that's where you would see all the lovely alien hieroglyphics, you know, showing the life cycle of the monster. Come on, focus, goddammit. So all of this type of artwork was supposed to be on the inside of the pyramid. Anyway, he sort of Ridley Scott sort of revisited this idea in Prometheus, where they see that sort of pyramid-like structure, and they go inside, and it's either that alien, that's the Giger pyramid. I forget if it's Prometheus or if it's the follow-up film, that, what is it, Alien Covenant? I forget which one it is, but the artists actually slipped in some of the Giger hieroglyphics into the artwork. It might be in Prometheus, on the inside of that sort of pyramid-like structure. There's the big vagina doors. The openings that lead into the derelict ship. The Catholic Church gave Giger a hard time for the openings of the eggs because they thought they were too, looked too much like a pussy. So they bitched and Giger changed it from just an opening to, now it's like 4 openings, sort of like a flower petal. But somehow they absolutely missed these openings into the spaceship. And somehow they missed the giant dick head of the main monster. That didn't offend them. But the eggs offended them. So with pressure from the Catholic Church, Giger changed the eggs. There's old Hans sculpting the space jockey. These pages kind of have a glare on them. Sorry about that, guys. So as a little kid looking through this book, it blew my mind. I had no idea what I was looking at other than the fact that it was awesome. I didn't have any context for it. I just had what my big brother told me. He's like, oh yeah, there's this scene and they go inside the spaceship and there's a dead monster and another monster burst out of its chest. I was like, what? So glad they didn't go with that design. It looks like Salacious Crumb from Return of the Jedi. It's an early sketch of the facehugger. It's much more octopus looking. There's the alien looking more like a frog and a shrimp put together. Giger's egg and a facehugger. And I think I've told you guys the story before about how Giger played with the idea of using live maggots inside the dome of the alien, so that when the cameras were rolling and the lights would hit the dome, you would see like this nasty, writhing, squirming mass underneath there. And they tried it, but the studio lights proved to be too hot, and it kept killing all the maggots. And they just decided, this is more trouble than it's worth. So they did not go with the real life maggots. That would have been kind of crazy looking. Let's see. Yeah, I remember looking at these pictures and asking my brother, like, what's that? What's that giant skeleton? And he's like, oh, that's the inside of the spaceship. And I couldn't wrap my head around it when I was little. I was like, what? The ship was alive? And my brother would just laugh at me and be like, yeah, maybe the ship was alive at one time. Yeah, the alien doesn't look as menacing when you put eyes on him. I'm glad that Giger took the eyes off. It's much more frightening that you can't plead with it. You know, you can't look into its eyes and beg for mercy. It doesn't even have fucking eyes. It sees telepathically, or it has some other unknown to us senses that it uses. There's one of the early paintings of the chestburster that Giger did. It looks kind of like a turkey. It's kind of cool. Oh, I always loved this painting. This one's beautiful. And Giger and the airbrush was just a match made in hell. Like, it's perfect. There's Dallas cocooned up, but they didn't go with that. Which version do you guys watch when you guys watch Alien? I kind of like the director's cut just because we get the added scene of Dallas. I watch both versions. I watch the theatrical cut and the director's cut. I like them both for different reasons. See how the facehugger had more like, these were more like fingers, like human fingers in the first film. Whereas in Aliens, in the sequel, they were more like little legs. Yeah, so I looked at these books over and over and over when I was a little kid before I got to actually go to the theater. And then my big brother took me to the theater and I saw it. And then I absolutely wanted the Kenner Alien for Christmas that year. Take a bow, sir. And I've been in love with that movie ever since. Whoops. God, look at the inside of that ship. It's gorgeous. There's so much detail in this movie. Just everywhere you look, there's just so much to look at. And every time you look, you find something new. I love the fact that Ridley Scott used older actors that weren't so pretty looking. You know, everybody was more like an everyday man to give it that truck drivers in outer space feel he was going for. I think he nailed it. Yeah, the actors weren't as pretty and weren't as young as, you know, what Hollywood wanted to use, but it gave it more of a authenticity to it. It felt more real. You know damn well if they made Alien nowadays, everybody would be everybody would look like Kim Kardashian, including the guys. Everybody would just be like everybody would be 19. Everybody would be super attractive. What's cool about this I called it a magazine. What's cool about this book is, you know, you sort of feel like you saw the movie when you're going through it. I also think as a little kid, this book might have helped ease me into it. You know, I could like look at the movie, you know, and then go back and look some more, and something freaked me out. I could look away from it and then go back to it and sort of ease into it. It made the movie experience easier to digest for a little 9-year-old. And I just remember being blown away at the movie theater. That derelict ship is so goddamn cool. Something I loved about Alien, and something I dislike about modern cinema, is there was mystery involved in this film. We didn't know where this thing came from. We didn't know anything about the space jockey. And we didn't need to know. It was the mystery of it, that sense of wonder, that sense of not having a sure footing on what, we didn't know what the hell was going on completely. And I love that. And modern cinema doesn't do that. Nowadays, everybody wants to be spoon-fed, and they want every single little aspect of everything named and a backstory added to it, and no mystery involved in anything. And that's a sad state of affairs, because basically it means that the modern movie-going audiences are morons, and they need everything fucking spelled out to them. These are the bad guys. These are the good guys. This is where they come from. Where you have just all this like crazy backstory. And then if the movie companies don't supply answers to every little aspect, then you get crazy fans that want to fill in every goddamn blank. I loved the mystery of not only Alien but Predator. When the Predator film came out, if you had at least 2 brain cells to rub together, you figured out that it was a intergalactic big game hunter. And that's all you needed. Keep his homeworld and his culture and all that shit. Keep it a mystery. We don't need everything fucking explained. But now, you've got all this like made up fan bullshit. There's the real sheep stomachs. People want to name them the Yautja, and they want to tell them about the homeworld they come from, and like they take all the mystery out of it. They want to try and overanalyze and over-explain everything. But real life ain't like that. So why should the movies be like that? Like, have a little mystery. Why do you need everything spelled out to you? Movies are supposed to be magic. I don't know. Maybe I'm just an old man shaking my fist at the sky, but I definitely think there's an over explaining of movies done nowadays. Am I alone in that? Does that piss you guys off too? Do you think it's just stupid that how everything is just sort of spoon-fed to you? Like I don't know if it's they don't trust us to be able to digest it, or if the actual movie-going audiences are dumber than a bag of rocks and they need everything explained to them. Fuck, that's an even more frightful thought. Maybe that's the truth. Maybe audiences are that goddamn dumb nowadays. I would hope not, but that's probably the truth of the matter. This freaked me the fuck out when I was a little kid. Don't touch it! Don't touch it! That's cool when he finds the alien's shedded skin because it's growing, It's getting taller. They just saw it and it was like snake sized. And now it's this 7-foot tall nightmare. That says it all right there. Whoosh! Move! Move, Dallas! Get out of there! Ash is a robot. Ash is a goddamn robot. Oh, they even have that line right there. And I love their take on a robot too. So cool. Like his guts are floating in this liquid plastic, you know? This white liquid plastic. Instead of blood, he's got this white liquid plastic that all of his innards float around in. And if you see, Ash is always like drinking milk in the movie. Maybe he's not drinking milk. Maybe he's drinking more of that white goo. I love that. How he gets one last smart-ass comment in. I can't lie to you about your chances, but you have my sympathy. He's just an asshole right up to the end. Cooks him. Parker was fighting. Parker was trying to get a few shots in, but whoosh, got his fucking brain caved in with one little kiss. You now have 3 minutes. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Shake, 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 shake. She's all, I got you. I love how his head looks like the pipes. It's like the big, tubes and pipes of the inside of the ship, and then all of a sudden, whoosh, his hand pops out. I love those scenes with like the strobe light going off, and the alien is kind of sleepy because his tummy is full, and he's like slowly waking up, and you see his inner set of jaws go out and then come back in real slow, and it's all slimy. And he's kind of like, man, I'm trying to sleep, and this bitch just woke me up. And then even here, it looks like he's still trying to go to sleep. And then she hits him with the hot steam, and he hisses. Here comes the steam. She hits a different button. Closer. And then right here. And he goes apeshit. He starts screaming. He's got like this high-pitched hiss to him. And he's rolling around, and the strobe lights are going off. Ridley Scott loves him some strobe lights. And I always think of Ridley Scott when I see strobe lights. He uses them a lot in Blade Runner, and he uses them a lot in Alien. Flashing lights. Steam and flashing lights. That's synonymous with Ridley Scott. And then she takes the old harpoon gun. And he starts trying to climb his way back in. And she hits the gas. And blows him all to hell. That's an awesome book. A couple awesome books. All right, guys. Well, thanks for taking a look at just some alien memories with me. Do you guys have these books? Did you guys see Alien when you were a little kid like me? Or did you guys see it later? You guys remember a time before everybody, had all their favorite movies so easily able to watch at home? Remember what a big deal it was when you finally did get a copy of Alien or Star Wars or Jaws, and you were able to play it at home? We take a lot of that for granted now. I know I do. I've got a massive movie collection, and I'm just thankful that we're able to have them. Anyway, thanks for stopping back by, guys. I will talk to you guys later, okay? This is John, last survivor of the Nostromo, signing out.